What's up YouTube, this is GalacticGod, and I'm coming at you now with another episode of Yugioh Chat. Now I know it's been a little while since I actually produced one of these, and I've been wanting to get back into doing a lot more of the vlog type videos and talking to you guys, and just giving my general thoughts and opinions on the game. So what I'm going to do in this video is talk to you about a subject that I've heard a lot of different competitive players and a lot of different Yugi-tubers across the spectrum kind of talking about as well, and that's, is there a correct move or correct play that one should do in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh? Now I'm going to equate a lot of this over into poker terms as well at first to kind of give you guys a better understanding of what I'm talking about. And I feel that Yu-Gi-Oh and poker kind of share a lot of very similar aspects to them. For one, there are, quote-unquote professional poker players, people who go to all the big tournaments, who enter into these events and make a living off of it. And there is kind of a correlation to that with Yu-Gi-Oh players as well, as there are a lot of competitive Yu-Gi-Oh players that will travel around the country and go to all the big YCS events and everything and enter in them and maybe not make a living off of it like you would in poker, but make quite a bit of money off of it to where perhaps you could finance your trips and whatnot. Now many years ago, when the poker game Texas Hold'em was really popular, kind of at its height, they would show a lot of the big tournaments on channels like ESPN or Travel and whatnot, and I would watch a lot of these. I was kind of fascinated by it. It was a fad that was going around, and I really enjoyed kind of watching and getting into the mindset of these players and how they calculated the odds on what they should do and what they shouldn't. And they would oftentimes be correct in understanding what card's going to come out next, what somebody else had in their hand, and I thought this was kind of a cool, fascinating thing. And I remember at a lot of the tournaments when they would interview some of the professional poker players after they had lost and they've been taken out, a lot of times what they would say is the only reason why I'm lost and I'm out of the tournament right now is because that person didn't know what they were doing and they made the wrong play. And I would always think about it and I'd be like, how is what they did the wrong play if they were able to win and get you out of the tournament? And the people on the channel would go on and explain that in poker there are certain odds of things happening, and when you look at the board and examine it and you can see that okay, this person has this and this and this, and the odds of the card I need getting is like 30 to 1. There's 30 cards left in the deck and only one of them is going to save me. Perhaps I shouldn't put all my money in on this hand. Maybe I should just fold and wait for a better opportunity to go on. But when you don't know what you're doing, when you're not a professional poker player, you tend to take risks that you normally shouldn't do. And when you go in when you shouldn't and you just kind of hope for it, and then sometimes you get that 1 in 30 chance and the card that you need comes out. And if he was in playing against another professional poker player, they would have folded right then, because the odds were not in their favor. And that's what they mean by winning by making the incorrect move. So to kind of equate this back over into Yu-Gi-Oh, I've heard a lot of different competitive players and different Yugi-tubers and stuff talking about the only reason why they lost that tournament or were taken out or didn't top or something of that nature was because their opponent made some crazy play or some unorthodox combo when they shouldn't have, and they were able to pull through it or sack out of it or something of that nature. Or they would make some huge misplay that would ultimately help them out in some weird way when they shouldn't have done it. Like if player goes and they're going to special summon just once that turn, and then the player drops max C anyways, they don't even get a plus off of it. What is the point of really dropping max C at that point? And they dug and they somehow got that one card answer that they needed, and it's like, was it really worth dropping the max C for it right then? Most people would say no, especially if you're not going to plus and you're not going to stop a big push, but ultimately they drew into the card that they needed and kind of, luck sacked their way out of that. So my question to you guys is this: should a duelist always make the quote-unquote correct move? Sometimes not making the correct move ultimately leads to a win. When someone uses their instinct or their gut feeling or their intuition or whatever the case may be, and they make a different kind of play that goes against the grain, it can throw their opponent off and it can ultimately lead them to win. So was that really the wrong move? In the comment section below, let me know your guys' thoughts on this subject. And I guess that's it for now. This is GalacticGod, out.